Notes?
A
Yeah, I
second
looked at my
one.
note.
Okay, you looked at your notes.
My note.
So your one little note.
Yeah.
Go back to, if you had to give, because there's 8 and 9 are about tips for college, tips for success in general, but they tie into number 6 about successful people versus not so successful people. So if you had to kind of pick some short descriptions of, because I already have persistence is what you said.
You know, and honestly,
putting everything into it.
you have to put, and you have
Motivation
you have to
and
put
stuff.
everything into it and not give up, and that's
Yeah, not give
probably
up.
the hardest thing, because it's frustrating, and it's if you're hitting a brick wall, you almost always would just want to, like, give it 2 shoves and, like, oh, this is solid, can't do it.
Well, this might be helpful if you go back to that time when you weren't passing. Like you had a.
Well,
said
but
you-
that's the thing. It was not, there's no option. What am I
Right.
gonna do? Am I gonna go back to Miami being a loser?
Right.
I couldn't do that. And, like, well, I told you so. You told you wouldn't do it. I couldn't do that.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, what can we do for me to be able to look at a book and retain it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, hypnotherapy. I think I heard this stuff, and plus I think it's cool, because that's another thing. I've never been to a hypnotherapist. I think it would be a cool experience.
Right.
So let's.
So open to different
Yes.
solutions.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Different solutions.
And somebody told me one time, it's like, you know what, the thing about you is, if you don't know how to do something, you look for the answer. You don't just, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe that is what makes me a little different.
Keep looking.
Yeah, there's keep looking for a different solution.
Okay, great. And then any other, because you said you wanted to talk about specific motivational techniques and affirmations.
Yes.
And get weird with us. That's okay.
Okay.
I might ask him to kind of go off on some tangents, because I might take some clips of this for the stress class too. Because if you're going to talk about affirmations and
Okay.
meditation, or
So, and
So-
for this, I'd like
yeah.
like, if we're going to do something,
Yeah. If
I'll
you'll
volunteer.
demonstrate.
Yes, and demonstrate, right?
Please take advantage of this.
So, does anybody here? Is there something you want to do and you fail at it? Like, and it's smoking. It could be whatever it is. I mean, you got something?
Yeah, come on.
Come on. What?
Oh wait, am I saying what I want
Do
to
you,
do?
do
Well,
they
you
have to
don't-
say
it-
it aloud, or do they think it to themselves when you do your
We could do it privately if you'd like.
I mean, I'm open to share, but
I mean, but I want the one person I want to make aware is you have to be aware what's happening. We don't have to share what it is. If you want to, it's.
But it could be anything like procrastination or studying.
Yes, sure.
Or anything
Sure.
simple, right? Or breaking up with your boyfriend, or
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
stopping eating sugar or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Trying
You got
to
something?
weights.
yeah, you know what?
Well, come on
I
up.
always, yeah.
Should do it. Right, I'm loving it. I forgot to take a break.
Have a seat.
We're very similar with whenever it got a little hard and like you try for a second,
Right,
kind of like,
and you
okay, this is
and you
it.
give up. All right. So I've worked on you. I know what your spine feels like. All right. So right now you're fairly clear. Like there's hardly any muscle tension. Now, what is it? Do you want to share with everybody? What?
I want to do better at going, because I miss a lot of class and then
Okay.
I kind of like slack off. So I want to be able to stay on top of my schoolwork and all that.
Okay, this is
All right.
this is
So
great.
let's you know how you do a positive affirmation. Do a positive affirmation that I want to
do better in school for my future.
Okay.
Like that?
So close your eyes and visualize that, and close your eyes and like be with that thought. Okay? Tell me when you're all up in there.
All right.
All right. All right. So do you feel this?
Yeah.
What happens? What happens? You are in
Oh.
fight or flight.
I
Okay.
am.
You are. So that thought stresses her out.
Okay, can I just say to
Uh-huh.
you that I wouldn't take him at all seriously, except that I've known him for 20 years and he's magical.
He
Like,
is. He just
he's
knows.
magical. So I
But
mean,
but
it's-
we
yeah.
did we do some emotional work on you?
Did
Yeah, yeah.
some,
Okay.
You've always done that kind of
Okay.
stuff once in a while.
Yeah,
and It's
yeah.
always wonderful.
Right.
So
So
you have
like
to be open to the idea.
now,
of
now
it,
you
yes.
could we could muscle test. We
Yeah.
could do the, like, okay, and what happens is keep your arm up and don't let me bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let me bring it down. All right, good.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the word ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens here affects this.
Right.
All right. So, and you can also do muscle testing for hidden things that they're not conscious, they're subconscious. So any programming that you have, any negative programming, will show up on a muscle test.
Okay, so this is where you're gonna have to explain
Okay.
negative programming.
All right.
I'm on number 10 here.
So
is
let's
doing
say
special techniques.
you are a clumsy kid. Okay.
Oh, so you believe this stuff.
Yes,
Like,
and your mom tells you, "Hey, you're a clumsy kid. You're no good at sports. You're not this. You're no." And this is me. This is this guy, by the way.
So negative programming is more, if in simple terms, beliefs, self-beliefs.
But it could go very deep. Like I'll share something very personal. When I was about 6 years old, my mom and dad would fight all the time. And I remember being in my room and listening to them fight and cry. And one day they were fighting, and I wasn't feeling well. I had a fever or something, and I ran out and I said, "Mommy, Daddy, I don't feel well." And guess what? They stopped fighting. One ran to I'll go to the pharmacy and get this, and I'll get rubbing alcohol, and I'll give him this. And you know what?
Ooh.
Guess who was a sick kid? Guess who developed asthma? This guy. Okay? So talk about, you could take negative beliefs all the way there.
Right.
Or it could be just something as simple as that. Okay? So me being I literally had asthma from around that time till I moved till I was 15 years old. And then I was gonna keep that BS going. But when I got to high school, I said, "Well, coach, I can't run because I have asthma." And he's like, "Sorry, kid, you're gonna run anyway." I'm not sure that would have happened
Right.
today.
Right.
But they said, "Sorry, kid, you're not gonna run. You're gonna run anyway. You're just gonna do your best."
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess I have no choice.
Okay, and I'm just,
Uh-huh.
when you said the parents fighting thing, it made me think of relationship class.
Uh-huh.
So, any impact relationally then? Like, do you, because in the relationship class we talk all about this childhood stuff that then
Mhm.
creates issues relationally for us. So,
I had
any aversions of fighting or you
No, I
find
was
people to
okay. But here's another thing. I would fighting. I didn't fight clean.
Oh.
In a relationship, I was, because my mom had a knack for fighting dirty. When she fought,
So you learned negative.
she could clear. I mean, like seriously, she would. It was like nuclear. So I can get into a fight, but I can devastate the person.
Yeah. So you learned negative fighting.
Sure. Like I'll burn this
So-
bridge with both of us on it, like kind of,
Ooh, Wow.
yeah. So that was, that's one of those the negative things of course, I'm loud. My mom was loud. We fight loud, scream, and I've been in relationships where that in itself, you raise your voice just a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, Hispanic, you want to get a point across, you come up with a volume. But I've been in relationships where that
Yeah.
is almost abuse.
But it allows you to control the situation, I guess.
Yes, but it's not that willingly trying to control the situation. We're just, you want to argue?
I mean,
Come on, let's
you
argue.
were the guy who threw the French fries to
Yeah.
make your point.
Yeah.
So.
So I mean,
Sorry, I distracted you from the.
no, but that's okay. I mean, that's okay. So anyway,
We're counteracting negative programming.
okay. So you want to do well in school, but something is going on that you don't really want to. Like your
Yeah.
body, you know what your body's doing? And I don't know if your body's going,
Ooh.
you know?
It really is.
Okay.
Like your subconscious is going like big F you to whatever you gotta say.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So you're never going to, I shouldn't say that, but you're not going to succeed with you fighting yourself.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we need to clear that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can clear that a whole bunch of different. See, this is where you can do. Because I think just positive affirmation. Maybe if you do it so much that you start chipping away at the other. Maybe you can get it.
Yeah, because do you have to get to the root of where that's coming from?
No.
It doesn't.
No,
You don't
you could
even
just
know
tap for
why?
it.
Yeah.
You ever heard of
So-
tapping and
Yeah.
okay, so you could tap for that. So you could just say, I'm gonna do better in school, and just keep repeating
Yeah.
that. And we could tap.
Tapping is a huge therapy technique.
Yes.
I mean,
Right. And you could tap. And if you keep doing stuff like, and that's, there's certain points that you do, and sorry, I poked you in the eye. All right, keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. I want to do well in school. Now, and in my office, I use this point with the gun,
Right.
with the little percussion gun right here, because the sphenoid bone is the only place that you can contact the bone that the brain rests on. So, and actually, I'm doing a little bit of keep repeating that thought. I'm doing a little bit of energy work here, and yeah, I do that too. Maybe if you came in for a car accident, I might not even tell you that I'm doing that, but
right.
I'll do that stuff on you too. Now I can feel there's something happening with her. Keep repeating that in your head, but she doesn't know where we are yet. But I kind of know we're almost there.
I mean, what are you feeling exactly? If you
Well-
can explain. I get
I
where
don't
you feel
know.
muscle tension sometimes. But
Yes.
right now you're touching her.
I'm just
temples.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
This is what I do. All right, so we're there. Now, I want you to think of that again. Now, do you feel a little more peace?
Mhm.
Okay, so a little more peace. I want you to think about that thing again, and
She's
we check.
thinking positively. She's doing positive
Yes,
affirmation.
yes. Is that better?
Mhm.
You're not in fight or flight anymore.
Mhm.
All right, that's all. That's it.
Hmm.
That's it. Because if you do, if you do any sort of, if you want to create a change in yourself, you can't be fighting yourself against it.
Mhm.
And honestly, who's in charge most of the time? The subconscious.
Mhm.
Okay? Because you're not walking around all day like, I want to do well in school. How you doing? I want to do well in school. That's not how you operate. Okay? So your subconscious is running the show basically most of the time.
That makes sense. Because it's always in the back of my mind because I know I'm not doing good and I know I'm not doing good, but I don't continue to do the things that'll make me do good.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to put this under a tip for success because you're basically saying you need to be aware that the subconscious is in control much of
Yes.
the time.
Absolutely. So wouldn't that be a freaking amazing thing if you knew how to deal with your subconscious, or at least know when your subconscious is trying to sabotage you.
Thwart you, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do so and so, I'm gonna do that, and your subconscious is like, yeah, no, you're not.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the question then. What other techniques for thwarting? I mean, the subconscious is in control and trying to thwart.
Well, and like I said,
goals,
there's
isn't it?
there's many ways to go about it, but the way I work it is there is a resistance. When I, if you're pissed off at somebody, and I show you the picture of this person, what's going to happen? She's going to get pissed off. So okay, so now that you're pissed off, now I can address. Let's work on that. Let's let's balance you out in that state. And when we balance you out in the state, and you've seen it, I know you've seen it, it's almost like a,
Yeah.
and I will have people that break down and cry in my office. Like, you know, did you?
No.
You saw it. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, that happens in my office.
Yeah.
I thought you knew because the way you were.
And
No, but I
guess-
could believe it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you need to maybe tie it back to, I don't think everybody understands, the basis of chiropractic is aligning the spine, but,
All right.
so.
And chiropractic is very simplest thing ever, which is why it resonated with me, because it's like medicine. We're in the building of medical.
Yeah, we're
thing.
the school of health professions. That's what
Nobody.
we are.
Do you know how the body works? Do you know how the body works?
No.
Nobody knows how the body works. Nobody knows that. Doctors really don't. You know, 'cause I'm the doctor. I'm the nervous system doctor. I'm gonna do this, and this guy is a specialist. Nobody knows. Everyone's doing their own thing. No one's doing one thing. Okay?
Right.
Because if it was true, there would be one thing. All right. Here's the thing. What runs the show? What runs your body? Your brain, right? Your brain has to talk to your big toe, has to talk to your belly, your stomach, your heart, your lungs, all that, right? Your brain has to control that. How does it communicate? Anybody? Huh? Electricity? How?
The impulse.
Nervous system, impulses through the nerves. So it's literally electrical current from the brain to all my organs, everything. So what would happen if I fell and now I got a kink there?
Yeah.
Not all the energy is going to where it needs to be. Now I'm not getting all the flow to my arm. Well, my arm is getting numb. Maybe, what's going on? Or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's to my immune system, because my immune system is controlled by nervous system.
Yeah.
Everything is being controlled by your nervous system. So it may not be something as obvious as I got a tingling, but it's there is a decrease in the function. What if I could walk around with 40% decrease in my digestion? I'm not gonna die, but it's 40% decrease. I'm good. But I have that taco and But a fully functioning dynamic nervous system controlling the stomach would know, like, hey, stomach, there's a taco coming, get ready.
Yeah.
And you need to produce more acid to break that down. That's a dynamic system working. So now you got it working at 40%. It's not gonna do what it's supposed to do. Now you're gonna go, ugh. Okay? So there you have a body function. What does that have to do with back pain and chiropractic?
Right.
Well, it's never been about back pain. The first adjustment was given to a guy that was deaf. It was this guy was D.D. Palmer. This is the guy that discovered, the creator of chiropractic, discoverer. There was a guy, a janitor, that was deaf, and they were communicating, and they were like, how did you become deaf? And he heard a pop in his back, and he lost his hearing. So this guy was like, well, that's interesting, that's weird. Come on, let me look at that. And he was looking at it, and he's like, oh, there's a big bone sticking out of there. Let's shove it back in. So the guy did it, and the guy regained his hearing. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm a genius. The cure for deafness. It wasn't the cure for deafness,
No.
because not everybody had that going on.
Right.
But then and I think the next person he helped had a heart issue. So chiropractic didn't start off being the low back guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what medicine has turned us into, because they didn't have a place for us. And because this is what I say is crazy talk. I'm saying that your health is dependent on the communication between the brain and your body. Well, what about those pills you got to take? What about that vaccine you got to take? Whoa, man, whoa. That's crazy talk. But that's chiropractic philosophy. That is that there's any blockage in the communication between the brain and the body needs to be addressed. And that's what we do. That's what a true chiropractor would do. Because I don't, you know, what happens, Christy, what happens when, or Dr. Price, what happens when you come into my office and you say, it hurts there? Well, I'm like, let me do my thing. Because I'm not really looking for where it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm looking for where the blockages are.
Right. But I would say most people, you know, we have squished discs in our neck or
Sure.
whatever, and the bonus or benefit of not even being aware of what you're doing is that it's not just relieving that
Right.
specific pain.
Right.
Alignment is helping everything.
Alignment is helping everything, and
being aware.
that is the thing. Alignment is helping everything. Like I see babies newborn babies. Why would you bring a newborn baby? There's back pain. He doesn't have back pain, or you don't know if he does. You can say, "Oh, my L5 is my sacrum is kind of bothering me." Wah. But you know, babies that have colic and all these things going on with them, they'll you know, moms will bring them in. They get a very light force adjustment because everything is very delicate on a baby, and just
Right.
things go back in place. The brain is communicating better with the body. No colic. Why? Because the little baby's body has too much gas or whatever it is, and so
I mean, similar to principles of like massage and reflexology, but a little different.
a little different. I mean, and you know, I'm not like acupuncture has a whole way that they look at health. It's based on the yin and yang. You know, that you got either too much yin and too much yang, and you, by controlling one thing, you affect the body. Now, but chiropractic doesn't believe that I don't have to control. Like, I don't have to raise your yin or bring down your yang or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm. Just let me free it up and let God figure it out, because that's the way you're created.
But it's the freeing up.
Yeah, it's the freeing up.
I'm sorry, we've made you sit up here this whole time. But more about this, because that was specifically affirmation. She's ready.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
That specifically was use of affirmation
Yes. Yes.
and addressing at that. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to just pick your brain, so we just have a few minutes left.